What's up, you guys? I'm going to give this a quick second for people to start hopping on, but welcome to the next 3 days of where I'm going to be sharing what this coaching thing really is about. So I know you either were added in here by me or by one of the coaches on my team to find out more of what it is we actually do as a coach. It seems like this big secret crazy thing. Some of you have done your own research or heard from friends what we do. Some of you have a good idea. Some of you have an idea that might be misled. So I am going to clear up everything for you in the next 3 days. I'm going to talk to you about how we earn an income, what exactly we do to earn that income, how it works, what we offer as far as our team, Dream Chasers, and how you get compensated, just how you can change your life doing what it is that we do. Some of you are in here to kind of see if this is your thing because you were curious and want to earn more money. That's totally fine. Some of you want the extra accountability. You've been on your fitness journey and somebody said, hey, being a coach might actually help you stick to what you're doing and hit your goals because you're encouraging other people and you're less focused on whether or not you're succeeding or failing. Some of you are in here because you want to do it as a hobby. You're into fitness. You like to already share what you're doing for your fitness journey and how to, eat healthy, and you just know stuff already and you want to learn more about how to turn this into something cool and get, rewarded for sharing your good deeds. So, let me share a little bit about who I am. If you don't already know me, maybe you were added by somebody else, one of the coaches on my downline. I am Rachel Milan, aka Milan Fit. I have been doing this for almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in July this year. So I'm just going to say for 5 years. I have been a coach for 5 years, going on 6 years in my own fitness journey. And I just want to tell you that if this hadn't come into my life as a coaching opportunity, I don't know what I would have done. What we do as coaches is we use a product called Beachbody programs. I started using Beachbody programs before I even knew what Beachbody was. I had P90X as something that my ex-husband purchased. Wow, when was it? Like 2008 was when I had my son. He was about a year old when I started P90X, and I wanted to lose my baby weight. I wanted to tighten up because I had not lost it yet. I didn't feel like I looked when I graduated high school, and I totally wanted to go back to that. So he ordered P90X, didn't tell me about it. I was super mad because it was expensive for us then. We were... to be super honest with you guys, we were on welfare at the time. I had applied for welfare for, food stamps so that we could have groceries because I was in the nursing program. I was working a night job as a ward clerk. I was throwing newspapers at 2 and 3 a.m. in the morning, with my 1-year-old in tow. And he bought this insanely expensive program. And I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? So I was like, you better fucking use it. And I told him that. If you have kids in the room, clear the room or watch this on the replay because I do drop F-bombs. That's just who I am. And so I did the P90X program. Even though he didn't, I lost my baby weight. Again, I didn't know what Beachbody was. I didn't know what coaching was. I just knew that whatever this thing was working for me. So after a while, I had another baby. I got divorced. Did not have another baby with him, had another baby and had those same DVDs. I was going to school full time at that point. I was still going to school. I had already got my nursing, but I wanted to go to school for teaching. So I was like, all right, I'm going to become a teacher because it's a stable job. Everybody told me to do it. I totally wanted to go out and work in the oil field and make lots of money as a biologist, but turns out that's not how it works. So I was going to school full time, working 2 jobs still. I was working night shift now as a nurse. And then on the days that I didn't work as a nurse, I would drive to Van Horn, which is where everybody that I am roots with is from. It's a small, tiny town, nothing to offer there, but I knew the owner of the store and he would work with my schedule. So working 2 jobs, going to school full time, and I used this program to lose baby weight, kid number 2. I had a C-section with him. I was nervous. I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm afraid. I did it anyway, and I jumped in and I lost the baby weight. Still had no idea what this coaching thing was. Like, I knew that I better hold on to these DVDs because they're so good and they work really well. Time goes by. I graduate college. I did what everybody tells you to do. I checked the boxes. I got married when I had my first son. I got divorced when I wasn't happy. I went to school and I checked those boxes for sure. I got to get a college degree because that's what you're supposed to do. When you graduate college, you go and you get a good job with good insurance because that's what you're supposed to do, right? So here I was checking these boxes. Baby number 3 rolls around. I am still pretty much a single mom, on and off with my baby daddy, who is now my husband. And things were just really unstable for me because I'd never had that cool example of how to be a good mom, how to be a good person. Most certainly didn't have the example of how to eat right. And when I came to lose baby weight number 3, I didn't have the DVDs anymore. I had lost them. Turned out my little brother had taken them and then he lost them. Long story short, I didn't have that plan to fall back on. So I started to download apps. We started to have cool Wi-Fi then, and I started to download all these at-home workout apps and tried every single one of them out. And while they did give me strength and help me improve that area, I didn't lose the weight. My stomach was huge. I was weighing 180 pounds. I know looking at me now, you're probably like, no way. 180 pounds. And I was miserable. I couldn't look in the mirror. I fought with my husband all the time. And I'm getting really personal with y'all because I want you to know and understand the place where I was at and how this opportunity changed everything for me. Like, it is a complete 360 or 180 or whatever the saying is for that, from how I was then to now. So I need to paint a picture for you so that you can really understand, because some of you might not know me and some of you might see my social media role and be like, there's no way this girl was like that. But I would pick apart our relationship between me and my baby daddy at the time, my now husband, because I didn't have self-confidence. I was embarrassed of how I looked. I was disgusted with myself. I would look in the mirror and think, oh my God, how could he possibly want me? Why would he want to sleep with all of this? Gross. For me, being sexually attractive to your mate was really important. And I'm getting real with you because that part of our relationship was destroying everything else. That part made me jealous, made me nervous about what he was doing, who he was talking to, made me nervous about, how other people saw me. I hated shopping for clothes. I hated the way I felt. I was just miserable there, and it was obvious. So I started to follow a girl on social media who happened to be the wife of a friend of mine. So I watched her, and I just kept seeing her post about her weight loss groups and how people in these groups were losing 20 pounds and all these amazing transformations. And I was like, what the hell are they doing? Like, here I am running 5 miles. I was a high school coach and science teacher at the time. I was like, I should know how to lose weight. Why isn't it coming off? So running 5 miles, doing the cross country workouts or the track workouts with my girls. My legs were toned as fuck, but my abs I just looked like a chicken is the best way I could describe it. It looked like a chicken. So finally I messaged her. I said, hey, what's the scoop? Next thing you know, I'm in one of her 3-week boot camps. 3 weeks later, I dropped 10 pounds and like 30 inches. I was sold. I was like, well, I don't know what the hell this stuff is, but I'm drinking the Kool-Aid and I'm going all in. I kept going. Within a month and a half, I lost 45 pounds. Within 6 months, I had lost 65 pounds. At that point, I was like, whatever this is, I want to do it forever. And I'm doing it forever. At that point, that's when I had seen her post about how she was on this amazing cruise. And a mom of 3 stuck in a small town who doesn't get out but to the grocery store, seeing somebody else who's a teacher just like me go on cruises and do things that are cool and enjoy life like I used to before kids, I wanted that. I didn't care about making money. I didn't care about anything else. Well, I guess I kind of did. I needed the money, but I didn't care. Like, I wanted those cruises more than anything else. Mom of 3, single on and off with a husband who was just my baby daddy at the time. Yeah, it was like, I could use the money, but that cruise, that was my thing. I was like, dude, I got to do this. So I did. I signed up as a coach, went in, bought my challenge pack, and PIO was the next program I did, and I started doing this thing. And you're like, well, what is this thing? I just share what I do. I just share my workouts. I just share my everyday life. We just talk about how it is that we're transforming our life from that misery to now. We share our journey, the pretty, the ugly, the hard, the good, the bad, everything we share about it, because that's the stuff people need to see so that they can start their own journey. So my main job is to be the best version of myself as a coach. As a Beachbody coach, my job is to be the healthiest version of myself, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. My goals are like revolved around me. And when you come on as a coach, that's going to be your job too, to focus on yourself. Now, I know it's a complete contrast. Any other job tells you got to do this, but for everybody else. As a personal trainer, your job is to help other people get results. And it doesn't matter if you neglect yourself, as long as you get others' results. Here, your job, number one job, is for you to get your results first. To be proof that the product works. To be proof that you know how to take care of yourself. Because who wants to follow somebody who doesn't appreciate their body enough to take care of it? You know, who wants to do that? Nobody. Nobody in any other job that I've ever been with has told me, take care of you first. Don't come to work until you've taken care of you. Don't come and help these students learn unless you've taken care of you. Like, they never said that. They said, you better come in sick or not, because we got 20 kids who need some learning. I don't care what's going on in your personal life. We don't want to hear it. But this job tells you, hey, take care of your personal life, please. Read this book so that you learn how to become a better person, so that you handle your social anxiety, so you handle your lack of confidence and your jealousy or whatever you've got going on personally with you. Like, go make sure you get some exercise, make sure you're sleeping, make sure you're eating healthy. Like, that's my job now. It's insane to me then that it started out just as me wanting to lose weight, and it turned into what I do every single day, just taking care of my body, my mind, and my spirit. It allows me to take care of my family in those same ways too. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and financially. I might not be making 6 figures yet, okay? And I'm going to talk about compensation later. But the things that I've gained from this is something no other job has ever been able to give me. None. So I want to tell you that I did teach for 5 years. And it took me those 5 years to decide, fuck it. I'm done teaching. I'm done putting myself on the back burner, my kids on the back burner, my family on the back burner. I'm going all in, and I'm going to take care of my kids, my family first. And that is what I'm asking you to do when you decide to come in as coach, to come and join our dream chasing team, because it is any mom's dream. I haven't run into one yet, to be at home raising her kids and still be able to provide a good source of income for her family. Like, to be able to do both, it's like, is that a real thing? And I'm here to tell you, like, dude, it is. Don't take my word for it. You can go and search other people. There are tons of other people that are living, doing this. You know, some are Beachbody coaches, some are doing other things, but they're working to improve their family by putting themselves and their purpose and their life number one. So, sorry, I've got a little thing here. I've got a little person here. That's the cool thing about what I do. We share what we're doing. We share about our everyday life, you know, what we like, what we don't like. We just kind of just share everything. And I know to somebody who, like me, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, still an introvert, but like me, I was private. I didn't share anything. Me telling you this stuff now, telling you about my relationship and how shitty it was and it was falling apart, and I was picking fights because I didn't feel like my husband wanted to sleep with me. Like, those things would not ever come out of my mouth 6 years ago. It has taken me time to learn how to accept those truths, to be able to voice those truths, but it does come with time because I appreciate what now I have, because I was able to build that. So we share everything that we're comfortable with sharing with. We share our health and fitness journey. We have these cool apps that allow us to pretty much dummy-proof fitness, so that we're not trying to figure everything out in that area. Like, your goal is to know you and become the best version of you, not to be a personal trainer to anybody, not to hold anybody's hand through a boot camp. That's not what we do. Not to be somebody's babysitter. Those are things that I hear a lot of people ask me. Well, do I have to hold somebody's hand? I'm not really good at chasing after people. I don't do that. I don't chase after anybody. I invite people to do what works for me. I show them how to use the same tools I do, which is a virtual gym, drink a shake that gives me the healthiest body. I haven't been sick in almost, I'm going on 4 years now, not even a cold. I had a boob job in October, and I bounced back from that physically as far as recovery faster than anybody they've ever seen. I was in the recovery house and they're like, are you okay? You're up walking around, you're doing all this other stuff. Most people are floored. It helps you be healthier. It fills in the gaps. The support groups that we are in, boot camps, virtual boot camps, and they're more like support groups. We come in and check in. We're a fit family, really. There's no other way for me to describe it than it's a huge fit family where people come in with the same mindset that we want to be better, that we, no matter what, are not going to quit on ourselves. And that's been a huge asset to me. I'll tell you that right now. I didn't have a whole lot of friends growing up. I didn't have a whole lot of friends in college. I most certainly didn't have a whole lot of friends in my teaching career. That support group is the only thing that kept me going when shit hit the fan. Really just went crazy. So you use all those tools to focus on you being the best version of yourself. You just tell it like it is. You don't have to sugarcoat it. You don't have to pretend to be something you're not. You don't have to hold anybody's hand and, force them to do anything. A big question I get is, do we have to sell? And I'm going to touch this super into detail later, but I don't sell anything. I invite people to do what I do. If they want to join me, awesome. And I'm going to talk about compensation, like how we get paid tomorrow. But I also don't have to stress out about buying a whole bunch of stuff and then try to sell it to people. That's not what we do. We make an invitation. If you join me, cool. If you don't, cool. I'll be here 6 years later, still doing the same thing that's working for me. And if they want to join me between then, cool. So that's really all we do. I can't really complicate it anymore for you. That's what it is. As a health and fitness coach for Beachbody, is you become proof the product works. You try this shake out. You try these programs out, whether it's 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, totally up to you which one you try. And you do the program through and through. And you share what it's like for you. You share, if you were sore that day or if you had a great day. You share what it's like for you. And you get results. Because these fucking programs work. They just do. So I'm not even going to toot a whole lot in that part. I'm not going to sit here and convince you. I know they work. You've seen me. And you know that they work. So it's very simple. We share our journey. We don't try to pretend to be something we're not. And we strive for progress, not for perfection. We do this to help other people. And the cool thing is that you sharing your journey inspires other people to join you. And it just becomes this movement. And it's so freaking cool. But that's where the magic is. That's where the happiness comes from in your life. That's where the confidence comes from. You're doing this workout. People see you and they're like, hey, let me do it with you. And you're like, okay, cool. And then together you're like, oh my God, this is really cool. And then everybody kind of just starts seeing what you're doing, and it turns into this movement where it just kind of grows. So I just want you to understand that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not some kind of pyramid scheme, and I'm going to talk about those later. This is something that does take time to grow. So I'm going to just help anybody out here who thinks that you're going to be a millionaire in 6 months. I mean, it's possible. I hate to say anything's impossible, but it's unlikely. This is not something that's a get-rich-quick scheme. If you want to start something doing this part-time, you could easily make anywhere from $200 to $300 a week, depending on how hard you're willing to work. Depending on how willing you are to learn and step out of your comfort zone. So is it possible for you to make a good part-time income within 30 to 40 minutes a day? Totally. Could you push yourself hard and earn about an extra $2,000 a month? Yes, it's possible. But you have to keep coming in here and learning how. So, sorry, my little girl's distracting me. I'm trying really hard to stay focused here, but her little sounds drive me insane. That's part of being a mom. I'm wondering if you guys can hear her making all those tiny little sounds. So I think that's all I wanted to cover today. I wanted to keep this video pretty short. If you have any questions about today, what I covered a little bit about my story. I'm telling you, I went from a full-time high school science teacher to doing this full-time from home. I earned that cruise. I'm going on the cruise this year. I actually earned another trip last year. They change up the trips as a reward, by the way. I'll talk more about that tomorrow because we're talking money and compensation and things like that. So I did earn that trip. I did get to do the things that I said I wanted when I signed up for this. I did help people doing what I loved doing. I just stuck to it. I was willing to drink the Kool-Aid. I was willing to do what most people weren't. And that's how it works. That's how success works. You have to be willing to do what most people won't. You have to be willing to take a chance at something where most people just kind of walk away and they let the self-doubt and those fears rule them. And I just want to leave you with this question. Think about it right now. You could scroll my feed. You could scroll the coach who added you to my feed, and look at the difference. And tell yourself, ask yourself, what attracted you to that coach? What attracted you to them? What about their life seemed cool? Was it the extra income? Was it the fact that they were taking trips? Was it the fact that they just looked fucking happier than what you feel right now? Because all of those were what attracted me to my coach. All of those were the reason that I decided to keep looking into this and keep showing up, finding out more. So I want you to look at that and think, why am I attracted to this? What about this makes me curious? And if you're brave, drop it in the comments because I want to know. I want to know what about this has you in here. I'll talk to you guys later. Tomorrow, it's all about the money. So show up. I'm going to spill my beans about everything. So no secrets. No secrets. Everything's going to be shared here. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.